Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I wanted to show you a fairly simple holiday card using lots of products from the Tim Holtz collection. And I wanted to show you how to make this kind of dramatic sky using the brand new Villainous Potion Distress Oxide color along with the Kitsch Flamingo. So let's go ahead and get started. So to get started, we're going to be using the largest die here. This is from the Outside In Stitched Rectangle Stackables from Lawn Fawn. And for paper, I'm using the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock. So I'm putting it on a little bit of an angle to run it through my die cutting machine. That just makes it a little easier to run that through. And for inks, I'm going to be using the Distress Oxide. This is the brand new color, Villainous Potion. And I want to create a really dramatic sky of purples and pinks. So what I'm going to do is use this little sponge dauber, and I'm going to create almost like little triangular shapes, kind of wider at one end and then going narrower as I go in towards the center of the card. And I'll do that here, kind of going up towards the top of the card, just randomly here. Again, just kind of blending that in. For right now, I'm just sort of laying out the pattern here. And then we'll come back over this again in a minute. So I'm going to lay down this color first. Again, just creating those little triangular patterns. And now adding a little bit more ink to those. And I want to make sure I have enough pattern here. We are going to be having a little bit of a ground snowy pattern on the bottom, but I want to make sure my sky goes far enough down the page here. So now another one of the newer colors is the Kitsch Flamingo, and this is this really beautiful pinky tone. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of fill in these areas with the Kitsch Flamingo. And I'm going to just sort of start to blend in that purpley tone into the pink. And that'll create a really nice overlap here of color. So I'm just going to first off just sort of fill that in. And then you can go back and do a little bit more blending here now. You just want to kind of blend those colors into each other a little bit more. So it doesn't look like a lot right now. It doesn't look like too much, but once we keep going here, you're going to see this will come together. So I'm just going to clean any of that purple off my pink dauber there and just set that aside. So now let's add a little texture to this panel. I'm using my Distress sprayer, which just has water in it, and I'm going to go ahead and spatter this. So this is going to create a little bit of texture in the sky here. I'm just using a small paintbrush to do that, and then I'm going to blot up any excess. And that's going to give us a little bit of a snowy effect in the sky there. Then I'll quickly heat set that. And then we'll come in with another layer of a snowy pattern. And we're using the white gesso. You could use white acrylic paint here as well, whatever you happen to have on hand. I'm just going to add a little bit of water to that, and then I'm going to go ahead and spatter this panel again. And that's going to give us more of a brighter white snowy effect. So the water pattern will be more in the background, and then this white will be a little bit more in the foreground. So now I'll go ahead and heat set that again. Now I'm going to die cut another panel, just like we did the first one, the same exact size. And I'm going to use this one to cut out a couple of little snowy borders. So I'll tape these down, one on one side, then I'll flip that around and tape down the second one. And I want one to be a little bit taller than the other one. I'm just trying to determine here where I want that to be. And then I'll run those through the die cutting machine. And these are the stitched hillside borders from Lawn Fawn. So I'm going to run those through, and that'll give me that beautiful stitched edge on all four sides of these two borders. So you can see one is a little taller than the other. And now with my Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink and a little sponge dauber, I'm going to add a little color right across the top of these, just to add a little bit of a shadow here. And this Speckled Egg color is perfect for this. It's just a really soft, subtle blue color. So now those will stack up on each other down at the bottom of our card panel. Now I've got these adorable little trees. These are from the Tim Holtz collection, and these are called woodlands. So I'm going to grab this narrower tree here, and I'm going to die cut two of these. And I'm die cutting those out of the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound weight cardstock. Now I'll poke out all these little areas here, and you'll see we get these beautiful outline trees. Now you could keep those inserts if you wanted to, but I did decide to, the die cut cuts all of that out, so I'm removing that using my Tim Holtz pick tool. So you can see I've got these two beautiful trees. So those are going to go here on the left side of my card. And now I want to give them a little bit of glitter. So I'm using my Wink of Stella glitter gloss pen, and this is just a clear glitter. And I'm going to apply that all over the tops of these trees. Now you could certainly use some glitter cardstock here if you prefer, but I just thought this would give it a nice shimmer, and I hope you can see that there. So I did that for both of those. Now I'm going to grab this little deer here. And these again are from the Tim Holtz Sizzix collection. And these are called Darling Deer. So I'm going to go ahead and run that one through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. And I'm going to die cut a few of these. I want to stack these up one on top of another just to thicken this up a little bit. So I've got 3 of these, and I'm using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to attach these together. So you want to take a little time here just to line those up. And I like to use my tweezer. I just kind of put it right along the edges and just kind of make sure everything is lined up really well. Then I'll go ahead and glue that third one on. So now I've got the Antique Linen Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to just apply this color all over. This is just to get started here. Now you could certainly use your markers here, whatever you prefer to color with. Colored pencils would be another great choice, but I just thought it would be easier to color using the inks. So I'm going to grab the gathered twigs, and I'll just start adding some shadows here. I'm going to start down here at the bottom, leaving that top part of the deer the lightest. And these little daubers make it easier to get into some of these smaller areas here. And then I'll add a little bit more shading using the ground espresso. I'm just going to kind of go around the edges here with that. And sort of on the bottom of the hooves there, down at the bottom, just to add a little bit of a darker shadow here. And then I'll go back and blend this out. So I'm going back to that lighter color, that antique linen, and I'm just going to blend this in. Now you can keep adding colors and blending these as often as you need to till you kind of get that look that you're going for here. So again, I added a little bit more of the ground espresso, and then I'm blending that out again. And this is a really easy way to color in some of these little items like this. So now I've got my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen. This is the 0.1 millimeter black pen. And I'm going to add a little dot for the eye there. So this cardstock measures 4¼ by 11 inches. I'm scoring it at 5½. So we'll have a standard A2 size top folding card, which will measure 4¼ by 5½. And again, I used the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock for this. Now I've gone ahead and cut a piece of black 100-pound cardstock in the same size as our card, so 4¼ by 5½. And I'm using my Hero Arts Unicorn Pigment ink, and I'm going to go all the way around the edges. So this is just a white pigment ink, and I'm just going to add a little bit of definition around the edges of this panel. So once that's all set, I can go ahead and attach that to my card. Again, I'm going back to the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. Now I'll just line this up on the table here, just lining it up so it's nice and straight. And I use the glue because it just makes it a little easier to move it around if you need to. Then I've got my We Are Memory Keepers bone folder, and I'm just going to press that out. Now we've got this beautiful sky panel. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to this as well. And then I'll center it on this black panel. And again, I'm going back to that bone folder just to make sure that's pressed out nicely. Now I can go ahead and position these trees down. For this first one, I'm just figuring out about where I want that to be behind that first snowbank there. And so I'm just going to apply a little bit of glue here all the way around the back. And I'm going to have it hanging over the card just a little bit. We'll cut that excess away here in a minute. So again, just letting that hang over the side here. Just using that to pat that down. And then I can go ahead and add glue to this first snowbank and attach this. And that'll continue that stitch border all the way around here. Now I've got the second snowbank and my little deer. I'm just trying to make sure everything is positioned properly here. And now I can apply glue to the back of this tree as well. Now, if you have something that's got a lot of glue on it like this with all these little openings, sometimes I just grab a clean paper towel or just a scrap piece of paper and just press it over the top just to kind of pat that down. And that way I'm not picking up any of that glue, and if your hands have a little bit of stickiness to them, it's just an easy way to pat things into place. So I'm using my Tim Holtz titanium shears just to cut away any of that excess there. And then again, I'm just checking to see where that deer is going to be. And I can go ahead and attach that. So if you have a lot of cards to make, this one's pretty easy to do. You've got that nice dramatic sky, and you've just got a little bit of die cutting here to do. So you could kind of do that in stages. Now, once I have that one in place, I'm going to pop this up. I just want to make sure I avoid where the feet on the deer are, so that it doesn't get in the way of this little border. So I'm just cutting a thinner strip here along the bottom, and then I'll put some on each side. That way I'm going to avoid that little deer. And then I'll just check that to make sure that it's not in the way. And then I can add one more little chunk of tape right here. So now I'm removing the backing off the foam mounting tape, and I can go ahead and attach this. I'm lining that up with that frame as well. Now I've got these really pretty sentiments. These are from the Tim Holtz Ideology collection, and these are the label stickers. And you can see you get all these beautiful sentiments. And they look like something that was done out of one of those Dymo machines. And this is the Christmas Noel collection. So it's got a sticky back on it. All I have to do is peel away that backing and attach it to the left side of my card. Now I'm going to add a little bit of interest here using the Picket Fence Studio Sequin Mix. This one is called Icicles. And I'm using my Marvy jewel picker here. So I've taken the little snowflakes out of that jewel mix here, out of that sequin mix. And there's these little white snowflakes, and they're very dimensional. So just to even bring the snow even further, so we had the spattering of the water, then we had the white gesso, and now we have these beautiful snowflakes. And then just to add a little bit of snowy effect in front of this deer, I'm using my white Jelly Roll gel pen and just adding a little bit more snow there right in front of the deer as well. I didn't want to spatter it. I just wanted a little more control over where I was putting those snowflakes, so I decided to use the white gel pen. So let's take a closer look at the finished card, and you can see that beautiful dramatic sky we have with that Villainous potion ink and that beautiful kitsch flamingo as well. And then we have the sparkly trees and that adorable little deer. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.